Oh, can I call into Zoom?
There we go. We're live.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, approval of the agenda changes and additions. Any additions or changes?
No changes.
Nope, okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I make the motion.
Carl, is there a second?
Second.
Chad, all those in favor? Opposed? Item 4, approval of the minutes. Consider the approval of the minutes of the school board meeting from April 21st, 21.
I make the motion to accept the minutes.
Carl, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Krista? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item 5, the consent agenda. I'm going to abstain from voting on the consent agenda since I have a family member on it, so. But other than that, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Krista, is there a second?
Second.
Dave, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I abstain. Item 6, community reports, highlights and recognitions. Jamie?
Yeah, so I just want to take this opportunity to, I think we can all agree that this year has been a very challenging year for everyone involved. And on behalf of Corey, myself, the entire, I think all of us express our great appreciation to everyone involved in Lisle community, in Lisle Public School, from the parents who have been, like today came out and, experienced a little bit of joy with their students and have supported us throughout the year. They may not have appreciated the decisions, but they understood the why. To our community members who came to games and respected the expectations that we laid forth, to our teachers who have bent over backwards to do everything that they could to make this as normal of a school year as possible, support staff who have went out of their way to do what needed to be done, from our, everyone involved, you guys as a board, supporting us, and then ultimately the students. It has been a challenging year, but we're nearing the end, so I just want to express my appreciation to everybody for what they've done. I would just specifically, I do want to thank Chad and Sherry Hurd today for basically the entire day coming to school and taking pictures of our students. Prom was not normal, and we tried our best to make it as fun and exciting. So thank you two for your help today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. So thank you.
Public comments? Anything?
Do you want to come over here?
Okay.
The mic.
Did you get the online or any-
No.
Okay.
Where's the best?
Right here, the microphone.
Oh, where's the-
Right.
oh, right here.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. This little thing right
If
here.
you want to introduce yourself.
Okay,
that's
so I'm, I feel weird with you guys in the best, but Representative Mueller, and just came to congratulate you guys on the end of the school year and how exciting it is for you to be done with this. Then also just wanted to give a brief update on what's happening since the session ended, sort of. So I've heard we've had a very unproductive session, unfortunately. None of the budget agreements have been passed. And that includes the education omnibus budget. And so we are definitely still looking at this House and the Senate are very far away. And some of that is simply because the Senate does not want to spend as much money, and they don't want to include some of the other policy things in there. I have been fielding some questions from other people who are concerned about how much money you guys will be getting next year. And I have been a big advocate for the 2%, so that you guys could kind of recover from COVID. But at the same time, I take a little bit more of approach with the Senate when it comes to the policies. There's a lot of policies in the House budget or the House omnibus bill that I think will be very detrimental to you guys. And so I'm concerned about that. So still advocating for that. The short call sub bill that was passed out of the Senate was not included in the House omnibus budget, but hopefully it will come out after conference committee. So this is something immediate that would be something that could affect you right now. And if you've been paying attention, you saw that we had our budget agreement, and with that gives the federal money that's coming, the ARPA money that's coming, the American Rescue Plan, $500 million is given to the governor for him to spend however he wants. And apparently he's decided to do $75 million for summer school. That bill, we passed a bill 1064 that has about the same amount of money. So he's just taking that money and spending it on himself. And or for you guys. So this is a rough breakdown of summer school or summer education programs. $36 million is for academic and mental health supports. This includes summer field trips and mentoring and community partnerships. And I believe you have to apply for a grant for that. $20 million is for summer preschool for 4 and 5-year-olds. Funds participation at a 3 or 4 parent aware rated program. $6 million is linked to mental health. $3.23 million is expanded access for tutoring, I think like through Reading Corps or Math Corps. $10 million is for adult basic education, and $1 million is for summer college access for recent high school graduates. So, and I can pass this on to you, Jamie. And sorry, Mr.
Oh, that's fine.
My fault. And but I did want to say that while it looks, $75 million is a lot of money, and we're really, and I want you guys to have an investment so that you can get some of the learning loss that other schools are seeing, and maybe your kids are seeing as well. What I'm concerned is that many of these are tied up in grants, and I don't know the process for you guys to get some of this money. Also to know that out of the $75 million, $10 million of it is for ABE, adult basic training or education, and so that doesn't go for you guys at all. So a little disappointing. I definitely wanted to, in the minority party, we had given a different counter offer where it was $75 million, but it was averaged out. It was given to you by student population, and you got to use it for however way you wanted to spend it. Unfortunately, the majority party did not accept that, and so this is what the governor is basically following the majority party's plan. Hopefully, you can use some of this money for whatever you for any of these funds, and that would be helpful for you. So that's kind of where we're at. We're a special session in June, and we're hoping to get some of these budgets passed, and I'm hoping to make sure that some of these policies that I think will be frustrating, like the non-exclusionary disciplinary policy and many of the changes to social studies standards, I'm hoping that some of those things are going to be kind of taken out after it goes to conference committee. But if you have any other questions, hopefully my legislative assistant had been in contact about graduation letters for someone. Okay, and so and I'm really excited for your kiddos, and that you guys were amazing this year. So amazing to I just want to echo what Jamie said. Just thank you for your hard work and your passion for your kids. So if you have questions, I'd love to answer those now. If not, I'll just go back back and sit down.
Thank
you for
you.
your support.
Thank you. School board committee updates. Negotiations.
Teachers are filed, but we haven't started negotiating.
Legacy committee. Nothing there. Nope. Community ed.
We had a Twins game planned. No one signed up. It's been rescheduled to August in the hopes, but we're trying to just determine what the rates are going to be for the tickets, whether it'll be the same or if it'll be subsidized a bit more through community ed. The other thing, we talked about having like the Rad Zoo come. I just need a date on what someone might think would be something good, but they are doing their traveling.
Okay.
That seemed to be well received, at least by community and kiddos last time they came a couple of years ago. So it'd be something else to do. Otherwise, if the community or anybody has any ideas to do over the summer, it's usually kind of hard.
When was the deadline for that Twins game originally? Because I know that was really,
It was.
that was popular last year,
It
right?
was, but it was
And I just-
the deadline just happened. And so that's why no one signed up, but it's
Yeah.
also near the 150th town
Oh, okay.
celebration, so figured maybe that's why people
Right.
didn't, are just so
And I
much
just-
unknown on what restrictions.
That's what I was
are
thinking
getting in,
too.
so-
Maybe people kind of just held off a little bit just
Exactly.
because of
So that's
that.
why we did reschedule it, and we'll see if we get any
Yeah,
interest, and if not, then we would not reschedule it.
Okay.
It's in August now.
But now it's in August.
That might
like
be
mid
better.
to late August, so I think that should be at
good.
least a little bit better,
Yeah, great.
or at least there's more time.
Right. Yep.
So,
No, that's great. Thank you, Krista. Finance committee.
We have not met, but I will present an adopted budget at June meeting. For the coming fiscal year.
LPAC. We have not met. We did have a little discussion on some coaching things for next year, so I think that was about it, wasn't it?
Right.
Carl? Is that? Yeah. Good. Facilities committee.
Well, we met, and it's in here later in the thing, we'll talk about our recommendation. We did meet with both proposals and their representative on the caulking of the building. So we'll talk a little bit further about that. But that's been the main thing we've been discussing.
Policy committee.
Just 2 more additional policies to bring forth.
Strategic plan.
The only thing I was who's on that committee? Because I'm gonna meet with,
I
I'm gonna reach out to you guys about starting something like that.
Okay, well, and I mean, we might as well just include the people that were on it the first time.
Yeah,
See,
you and I will talk and
Right, yeah,
and
yeah, right.
start getting that
Instead of
direction
starting
for the.
all over
yep.
again. That sounds good. Library committee.
We have not met, but we did talk over the phone that we will have some hours where the library will be open this summer. That'll be part of the summer rec coming out. So excited to have that.
SMEC board.
I think Jamie forwarded the emails that I get to you guys. They are negotiating, Dan and,
The 3 admins.
yeah. They're trying to decide how they want to go about doing that with having people from the cabinet board and the select board trying to decide how many they want. So I
How
guess
have they normally
This
done?
is, that's.
How
what
have
it
they,
is.
So,
oh,
That's kind of the.
yeah, so in the past, prior to the board developing with 3 years ago or 2 years ago, it was all basically the soups in the past. And then the board formed, so 3 years ago, it was the board directed at that time that it was the cabinet to do it, the soups. In our meeting the other day with the soups, we're all like, well, we probably should at least reach out to the board and see if they want to continue that. So that's kind of the discussion that is happening right now. So
I would,
Because do all their contracts expire at the same time, or are they year-to-year contracts, or
I
do
think
they
they're 3 year-
negotiate
I think they're
3-year?
3-year contracts.
Okay.
Yep.
For all admin.
Yeah, for those
Okay.
3, yeah.
All right.
yeah, I would hope we get someone business. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems- Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's a
Right.
weird situation, I think, right? Didn't you or not?
I tend to agree that it should not just be us as soups, because we're colleagues with them, so there should be some
Yeah.
oversight from the board, at least 2 or 3 members of them to be in it. So I'm the new guy in the group, so I don't know if that's a common opinion, but that's the way it seems that there's some people aligned with that thought.
Yeah, I haven't asked the email yet, but I was thinking that it should be, I don't know how many it should be, but there should be a few.
A few of
I've
each.
been of the opinion all along that the SMEC governing board should have more of a role in the organization than it does.
Yeah.
Negotiating management contracts seems like a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but any of our negotiating committees are a cross-section of
right.
administration and board, so.
Right.
I don't know, my spec should be different.
Right.
That all need people that actually don't work for them and aren't elected officials. So that- Certainly there can be a superintendent on the committee, that would make sense.
Yeah,
All right.
that's all I got.
Check yes on that box. Carol.
I will.
You got a lot of experience in the.
No. That's why I don't want to answer the email, because I don't want to be volunteered
We get
for it.
roped into it. Financial reports, Bradley.
So you turn your volume on.
My video. Okay. So on screen, you've got our monthly financial report from April. And we're clicking along. We're from a revenue standpoint, we're a little bit ahead of our previous 2 years. Just because we've got a lot more federal dollars in play this year than in previous years. So we've been able to do some good things with that money, and it's spent and already in play. So we're up about nearly $60,000 just in federal dollars alone this year. So that's working well for us. Looking at our expenditures, we've got the revised budget that we approved last month. That's in here now. So you should be seeing some of those percentages line up very neatly with that budget, because I was able to adjust all the budget to what's actually happening rather than what we thought would happen a year ago. So looking at our salaries, looking at our benefits, they're right where they need to be for this time of year. And was able to adjust for some of those kind of one-time things that we decided to do along the way. So now the budget's reflecting those as well. A lot of my previous reports on these have to highlight the things that didn't make any sense because we hadn't budgeted for them. But those are all in there now. So then flipping on to the next page, one of our more significant changes in the budget is in food service, to go ahead and adjust for what how the year actually went. So we're still looking at a loss there, but it's honed in scope a little bit there as we've got a better idea how many meals we'll really serve this year. So Now that we got more kids in the building, we're making up some ground these last couple months, but still, still not enough meals being served. So, looking at community ed, our revenues there, we've got some federal money that went towards our Cubs Club program, and our levy money is mostly in. We've got we'll have another round come in. Honestly, I might get an ACH tomorrow, but we get a chunk of money in May and another chunk in June, so it's about right now. Then our debt service fund's in great shape right now. Just the last bit of property tax money to come in for this year. And one point on that, later on the agenda, you've got a very painfully long resolution regarding refunding our bonds. So we'll be able to take those back out on the market and see what kind of an interest rate we can get, and hopefully save our taxpayers a chunk of money for the rest. On them that you can refund them, and we're hitting at a pretty good spot. So interest rates are insanely low right now, and probably not going anywhere in the next 6 months. We should have that deal dealt with by the end of the year. So any questions on any of our funds, budgets, and such there? All right, I'll flip to the treasurer's report here. Pretty good month for cash. We're up about $100,000 over the previous month. So I also was able to do a little bit of investing. I put $250,000 into the Ms. Left term series. So we've got, I think that's at 0.08%, which is considerably better than the 0.03 that the Ms. Left Max class is now down to. So it's just really a sad time to be an investor, but a good time to be refunding bonds. So we'll probably save more money on the bond refunding than we would have earned on interest. So we can look at it that way. All right, payments are up next. Too small. All right. What looks interesting? Our school today, that's our website. So that's a 1-year payment there that gets us both the forward-facing website and the activities scheduler that is more in the background. Metro FiberNet, those guys bought Jaguar, so we got a new phone company. See how that goes. Let's see. Anybody sees anything they want to talk about, just jump out at me. Apple, we bought a whole fleet of iPads to replace the ones that we got 4 years ago, I think. So the last time we did that, we had to lease them because we couldn't afford it. We're paying for them all up front, no lease. So it's nice to have a little cash and to not worry about interest. So we might as well spend it instead of borrowing it, paying it over a couple of years if we're not going to earn any interest for keeping the money. So it's a great problem to have. Let's see, Mayo Clinic down here at the bottom of the page. That is our athletic trainer services. SHI is another technology vendor. We got another set of laptops that will go to next year's junior class. So we're kind of working our way down from the seniors on giving them laptops instead of tablets to work on those real world skills of actually being able to type up a letter and a resume and that kind of stuff. And if it's all tablets, I don't know how you do any of that stuff anymore. So Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Not with your thumbs. Yeah, that's what I got. Any other questions?
Bradley, I got that email, that invoice. Was there two of them though? Looked like there was.
It's just a really, really weird invoice.
So it looks like there's one
David
for
asked me about SEMA earlier. so.
$454.50, and then one for $700.
I spent an inordinate amount of time trying to figure out that invoice to get all the line items in it. So
Okay.
it's,
So that one for 700 looked like was for the old lawnmower. That's correct. The 910. That's the way it was looked. It was on that 910, that'd be the old one.
I'm not sure which more. Yeah.
So that's fine.
Uh,
So, yeah, which we can look at it later.
But yeah, when our repair bills on a lawnmower are getting to be that big, it kind of feels like maybe we should get a new lawnmower.
Well, if
So-
it's the old one, I don't know if it was spent that on the old one, but that way.
Yeah.
It's pretty old. Spent some $100 on it. I don't know. But yeah, we can look at it.
There's questions for Bradley, is there a motion to approve the?
Carl, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reports and presentations, Jamie.
Okay. I'll start with this. We have had the van for sale, but probably haven't been putting it out there as much. So just yesterday or the day before, I put it on Facebook, and I already got 2 emails, or 1 email, 1 voicemail for it. So, but I just want to mention that it is for sale. As Van 9, again, after 12 years, we have to get rid of it. Can't use it for student transport. Nothing new with the State High School League. I've had no response, nothing. So waiting patiently for that.
Sit
Love
that
the
one out
email.
more month.
Yeah, right, exactly.
If you probably have noticed, or maybe not, we have, I reported earlier, we've added a few more cameras, and it's amazing the difference they make compared to the old ones, the digital ones. They look fantastic, and even the distance, but we have added a few extras outside as well. Eventually, we will be adding 1 more to the front. We have not been fond of one that's in the door, because as soon as the door opens, you can't see anything. So that's a
Oh.
security issue. So we are going to add 1 there, and there's been 1 by the flagpole, 1 here by the athletic office, and then in the back. And then so 5 total. So that'll make a huge difference. And, sending them it's always good for the students to know that there's extra cameras. So they'll have to find new hiding places. So I mentioned maybe earlier, we've had some regarding the baseball diamond or the softball, I don't know what we really call it, ball diamond. So the Legion here in Lyle donated $2,500. The Austin VFW donated $500. And then they are still looking. So this is Gary Meyer, who's taking the lead on this, and he has found all the labor is going to be donated. And so they want to have this done by the start of the 150th. So we will have to pay the difference. We're thinking probably around $1,500. I think that's a bargain for what it'll be. And hopefully we can start having a few games, or at least a safer place for the kids to play during FIAD and practices. So
I think Gary also had a couple ideas of where to get some money.
Yeah.
We can still fundraise for it. I mean,
absolutely.
Right,
Yep.
yeah.
So he still feels like he'll get enough
Yep.
money. But
I have a question.
Yep.
Who gave you the quote for how much money you need?
Gary did. He did all the work. If we add it up, it was about 4,500
Are you trying to
for
make it
just the
bigger?
the remove the dirt about 4 inches and then bring in the
Why
red.
do you need to remove it?
because it's not the right quality.
No, it's not, but it would make a good base.
Right, but you gotta break it down so you gotta start over, basically. But anyways,
Because it would have to match the it would have
Yeah.
to go,
Yeah.
match the grass
I've been
height, so.
talking with my husband,
Right.
and he's done a number of ball fields like at Todd Park and the St. Ansgar Fields, and another person that he works with up in Owatonna has done a number of ball fields, and they've both gone by and they have both balked at the idea that it was $4,500 to do.
Okay.
So I'm just making sure that we're gonna be, I mean, it's fine if you're fundraising for everything, the community doing this, but if we're gonna be putting some money for it, I guess I would wanna see some of that and make sure that it's appropriate.
we are gonna cut a little bit more out so we can make the
Oh,
field
good.
a
Yep.
junior high
Is
baseball.
it 60-foot bases or 90-foot bases?
What is out there right now is 60.
Okay,
So it's set up for softball, but we want to make it so we can, we have access to the junior high field up in Austin, but a couple of years ago, we had some scheduling and we almost didn't have a field.
Right.
So we want to make sure we can be able to use it for junior high
oh, I
baseball.
think that's great. I mean, I think we need to make
Yeah.
it where
So-
we.
No, I'm
can
just
use it.
explaining what,
Yeah.
so we need 75-foot bases, so we
Uh-huh.
have to make it the diamond a little bigger,
Good,
but
but even with some of that, I mean, he just was like, in material, I mean, just in materials, you shouldn't need that in materials. If you're having all the labor donated, I mean, there'd be, for ones that
I
I've done
guess-
it a number of times, I mean, I guess I would,
I guess what we probably need, have Chad call Gary and talk, because
Yeah.
like we said, Gary's been in charge of it.
Yeah,
I
So-
ran into Billy yesterday, I think, and had said, call Chad, because when I brought this up, and I just want to make sure that
Okay.
it's not being taken advantage of for the quote, for the materials.
Like we, not to throw Gary in, but Gary's just taking the lead on it.
Right,
And that's
yeah.
okay,
And-
but I'm
and-
just saying, I mean, again, that's $1,500 of our money then. But if everything could be done for what the amount that's been fundraised, or you could use a remainder for something else, and we still have a equal part in it, I mean, I'm all on board with all of that.
And Chad probably has some suggestions that he
Yeah.
could pass along or share that Gary's not aware
Like the red
of, or
fire rock
Yep.
is-
resources or
crushed
whatever,
fire
I
rock
don't.
is usually what's used on most ball diamonds.
Yeah, they're getting it from,
Up in Cannon Falls, and that's not where you get it. It's a much softer rock. And not what's typically used. I mean, you can check out the ball diamonds at Todd Park and St. Ansgar. And that's the rock that they would use. That, kind of
I've seen the ones at St. Ansgar, those are nice.
where does that come from?
up by Shakopee.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so graduation is coming up, June 4th, 7 o'clock. Thank you to the parents of the seniors who kind of organized the parade. We kind of debated on dates and came down to the night of graduation, starting at 6:15.
Yep.
So it'll start from the parking lot, go around, and then afterwards, the parents and the students will come on in for the ceremony. Hopefully all the timing works.
I know.
We'll play it by
Right.
ear.
Yep.
And with the new guidelines, there is no max number. It's basically capacity of the gym, and so there is no 6 kids per, or 6 visitor or guests per senior, so, which is a good sign. And then the last thing I have is just, this is kind of 2 things, but Corey and I and Bradley too, just, the discussion that we've been having over the last few weeks and moving forward is, we're going to have some additional federal funds to use over the next 3 years. How to make some long-term decisions on that, and what are our priorities, especially starting next year. We know that mental health of our staff and students is a priority. Getting the students back on track. The number of students that we have in the high school that are not on track anymore. So we've got some some things going on this summer that will help with that. I'll explain that in just a moment. But it's just looking at, what other additional academic support we can provide for our students. What changes do we make? What's the, where certain things should be. We're looking at, we want to bring the movement room back. We couldn't do that this year, obviously, but just an opportunity for kids to, if they're tensed up, to take an opportunity to get moving in the, where can we do some more interventions, things like that. So the busy time for myself especially is now. So I'll be working on that and giving you guys updates on that. But this summer, I'm excited, and Corey's probably going to talk about a little bit more of these. It may be we got a couple of summer things that are be going on. Our strength and conditioning, that information will be coming out. Students will be this is a community ed thing, but they'll be working with the Hush Fitness in Austin. We've got some credit recovery options that I've sent out to parents. We're still not getting a lot from those forms back. And I am a bit concerned about that because we do have a couple of students who probably, based on the number of credits they have, they will probably be repeating a grade next year. And so I'll say it's specifically ninth graders who just have not done well this year. Even when we've had them back in the building, they haven't. And so they will probably be repeating ninth grade next year. And we'll get them back on track, but it's going to be a struggle or a long road for them. We have, and then we have the other two groups, and I'll let Corey talk about them, eCube and SMAC Academy, which is great for just giving the opportunities or other opportunities for students to get involved in doing some catching up on and having some fun this summer in the classroom with other students. So, but those are the things that we are working on, and it's probably taken a little bit longer this year just to get it going, to make some final decisions because of things. But now is the time that her and I will have to make these decisions and where everyone's going to be, and we'll move forward to get ready for the rest next year. It'll be here before we know it.
No kidding.
I don't want to rush summer at all. So,
No.
so Corey?
So as you're aware, we had our all-school prom today. That was, and I'm assuming you all knew. Chad, you might not have known about it. Just kidding. It was extremely successful. A lot of the kids, I heard numerous times, "This is the best day ever," or "best day of my life." That goes across all grade levels. That was the upperclassmen also saying just how much fun this was. So huge thank you to Julia Heimer, our student council advisor. She helped with her student council members, helped pull it off. It took a vision and went with it. So that was great. We made the decision today also, we were supposed to have our field day tomorrow, but we made the decision today to move it to next Wednesday because there's a 75% chance of rain. So this gave students and families and teachers the opportunity to plan for an academic day tomorrow. And then next Wednesday, we'll go ahead with our field day in hopes that there's no rain. We don't have a backup field day, so we'll figure that out if the time comes. Fun day on the last day of school is June 3rd. So K-5 will be having their fun day here. We have some bounce houses that have come in that we're bringing in, lots of different activities that the students will be doing all day. 6-8 will be at the roller skating rink in Brownsdale, and 9-11 will be bowling. We're hoping these are.
Yep, we got to finalize those
Okay,
tomorrow.
yep. So that's gonna be happening. Dismissal is 12:30 on the last day of school. So everyone will be back and ready to go to head on home. MCA testing is complete.
Yay.
Thank you. I was gonna say, I need a reaction out of this because this was very stressful.
Was that good enough, or do you?
I would actually like a little bit more, Carl.
Yes! Okay.
I did not get to wave it goodbye to the UPS driver like I did the AC Swiss stuff. Okay, so then goodbye. Something super exciting. So there's this A&I budget. What's the A stand for again? Achievement Integration Grant. There we go. We've had for many, many years, and it's integration with Austin Public Schools, Albert Lee, Brownsdale, or Hayfield, and Southland as well. And so basically it's been around for years and not a whole lot has been done with it, but very excited to announce that this summer, our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students have an opportunity, because it's only 4th through 6th grade, to join their E-Cubed, which is environmental or elementary environmental education for everyone, or something like that. I can't think of it on the spot right now, but a lot of E's. And it is led by some fantastic science teachers in Austin. And I say that because I taught with many of them. I know that they are so passionate about this program. We have 9 of our students who have signed up and they're committed to go. And I am so excited for them because I think this is going to be an opportunity that they're never going to forget. Students in 6th grade, this is their only opportunity. 4th and 5th graders, current for 4th and 5th graders, do have an opportunity next year to attend one Saturday a month if they're able to open it up again. They didn't do that this year due to COVID. And then they can attend one Saturday a month throughout the school year. And then the summer, it's a 4-week-long program. Well, this year it's a 4-week-long program. Typical summers, I believe it might even be a little bit longer. But it is all hands-on, learning, engaging, exploring, just tons of fun. They're outside as much as possible. Kids love it. They get to interact with students from other districts. Albert Lee backed out this year due to COVID, but I know Hayfield and Austin and now Lyle will be there. So we will be transporting our students. That's the only thing we have to pay for.
That's up in Austin.
It's
You
in,
meet
it's
in
in
Austin?
Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's
Transportation is even funded.
yes, the transportation
Really?
is funded. We just have to provide the bus or the vans. So, and we have 9 students who are going, so we're very excited about
That
it.
sounds so fun.
It's going to be great. We also, this is super exciting. We are starting to plan field trips again.
Yay.
Field trips. And actually, can I say that, what you just showed me?
Yeah.
Okay, Bradley just showed me that what you talked
Oh
about,
my
Patty.
God.
Wait, I wrote it down right here. The summer school and then the mental health money that we will be given. Bradley found out the amount for it already that we should hopefully have. It's about $12,000. It expires in August of 2022. And some of that, one of the things they talked about was field trips, because it helps with the mental health of students and their engagement with academics. So this recent planning over here, we're looking at now we can provide some more academic field trips for our students, and looking at other grade levels. So, and like what Jamie said, we're starting to look other things, curriculum schedules for next year, all that's coming down. It's all coming so fast because I think it's been on our minds and our agenda for the last month maybe, but things just keep popping up and then those things just keep getting pushed. So I don't want our students to leave, but it will be nice to have that time at the end of the school year to be able to sit and say, okay, now let's look next school year. Because it's impossible. I don't know too many leaders across my other fellow friends that have had any opportunity to look next year. So it'll be nice to be able to do that. And then the Smack Academy this summer, we right now have 2 teachers in our building who are going to be over teaching. One is going to be teaching a world language class, and that's for students 1st grade all the way through 11th grade that they can be taking this. So she'll be whatever group she has. And then our very own title teacher will be working with all the title. She's the title lead. So we're fortunate to have her here because she'll be training a lot of people and teaching a lot of people the right way to lead interventions. So we literally have the best of the best in our building. So
That's
what I
awesome.
have.
Awesome. Great.
So the drivers will be
Thank
busy
you.
this summer.
They will.
The drivers
Yeah,
will be
that's
very
good.
Yeah.
But the E3 is just June. It's like 4 weeks. It starts in June and it goes June 15th and then it's 4 weeks. So whatever that is. A little bit in July and then it's done.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Items for action discussion. A, consider rescinding district policy 809 COVID-19 face covering policy effective July 1st, or when the state meets its 70% vaccination rate, whichever comes first.
And that technically even gets changed a little bit because as I stated earlier, in schools, when the teacher contract ends is officially when the mask mandate ends. So we have a policy that was approved last maybe July, August. So this would just rescind that policy effective, not actually July 1st, but when the teacher contract ends. So just the verbiage has to change a little bit.
Is there a motion to approve rescinding
make
that
a motion to
policy.
approve.
Carl, is there a second? Chad, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Consider the appointment of Nellie Wollenberg to the Lyles School Board effective immediately.
So last month, you guys asked me to put it out there. We got one letter of interest, and that was from Nellie. So,
And it was a great letter.
Mhm.
It was.
so
Very nice.
the effective immediately, I don't know if that is the correct word to use, but
Right.
she would
yeah.
be, her oath would take place next month.
All right. Is there a motion to approve Nellie?
I make the motion.
Carl, is there a second? Dave, all those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Item C, consider approval of the facility committee's recommendation to select Surety Waterproofing LLC for caulking our school building in the amount of $68,420.
So the last 2 weeks, the facility committee met with both proposals. They came here, they walked around the building, pointed out where certain things were and what would need to be done and this and that. We had a good discussion with them, asking them questions. At the end of it, our recommendation was to select Surety. They may be familiar with some of you. They were the ones who did the tuck pointing on the old part of the building a couple, maybe 8 years ago, maybe. So that is maybe where you've heard them. But we felt very confident in their ability to fix it. So I don't know if you have any questions of us. It was Chad and Dave.
Yeah, I can explain it.
You weren't there,
further.
but Bradley was there too, so.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, we met with both companies, both contractors. Carr is one large company that does that kind of stuff, and Surety too is out of Rochester. Like he said, they've been here before. Just going around the building, aside from the leaks, the caulking does need attention. It's fine, it's met its lifespan, and there's some cracking and stuff going on. They both, we felt confident they both would do a good job. One thing that stuck out with Surety is change order work. If we had any requests or if he's seen anything above and beyond what's written on this paper that he thought would needed repaired to prevent any leakage or anything like that, that he would take care of it. All existing fractures and cracks would be cut out and caulked just like a normal expansion joint would be. He would also use a primer on it. The other company didn't feel the need, but I think that's better to prime it before they caulk it. One thing we were talking about is the price. $68,420. This seems like a lot, but after talking to him, it would be like 4 guys for almost 4 weeks plus equipment and caulking and so it made a little more sense after we walked around and looked at the building. They are using top of the line caulk. NP1's been, they've been the go-to for this kind of stuff for many years. So
good referrals,
yeah,
recommendations.
gonna be happy with them.
They honestly both had a long list of different.
Oh, yeah.
too. Yeah, and they were both looking to use the same materials. So the fact that both bids were so similar on a lot of things gave us a lot of confidence in both bidders for a lot of things. So ultimately, the one we recommended is lower, but we also felt better from talking to that rep than the other one. So
Okay.
A little more local too, from the state.
and we all kind of looked at each other after the second guy left, like, all right, so we're going with the other guys, right? Yep. So it's nice to have a quick, easy consensus in the groups.
So as far as funding for it.
Long-term facilities maintenance, why do we get that money? So,
Most likely, he also said that he probably would, it'd be in the fall by the time he got to it. Their schedule is pretty busy, but should be little distraction to the, they're working on a build on a certain outside of classroom. Teachers just close their blinds
Maybe
for
we should
that.
start school
Okay.
early.
Does this count as a building project?
Right, you could,
Bradley?
you
Does
could.
it?
I think
I don't-
it has to be 150 grand.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
can we just say it's 150 and just, and then, oh, it came under budget.
After the debate.
Way under budget.
Way.
They'd love for you to propose a bill allowing. this.
Yes.
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 I've actually seen that bill and
It never, yeah, right.
The tourism.
This school district would like to start school before Labor Day.
I agree.
I personally believe the entire area of superintendents would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, in our conversations, we are
100%
all,
It's lake country.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Well, they can start whenever they want.
We can start distance.
I 100% agree with you.
No, see,
I wish I could give you that freedom. What constitutes a building project? I mean, is it?
it's not big enough.
You
Corey.
sure?
Anything else we need?
I think you need to in-depth look into it.
Listen, I'm not gonna say anything to you.
Perfect. Bend the rules.
We don't know who Dot is, so.
Don't break it.
good point.
Anyways.
They're ma- yeah.
Somebody's name is period. We don't know who they are.
Oh,
so.
it's all right. I tried, Corey.
Thank you.
This
I
gives you
liked
more time
the
to plan.
visuals.
And
Yeah, bend, don't break.
The problem
Yeah.
with that thought, that's only 1 year. We'd like it to be
Well,
more,
I would agree.
So-
True.
Totally agree. Get them in here, set up, and then hit them hard there.
There any other questions for Chad? On this? No, if not, is there a motion to approve the recommendation for the caulking repair?
I'll make a motion.
Krista, is there a second?
I'll second.
Carl, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes. Consider the resolution providing for the issuance and sale of general obligations school building refunding bonds, series 2021A, and taking other actions with respect thereto. Thereto.
So every so often, we have the opportunity to refund our bonds. The last time was 2012. So when you set up a bond, you've got a whole schedule of payments. Those payments represent real people out in the world or banks that actually bought the bonds. So what we essentially will be doing is telling those people, hey, we're gonna pay off what you borrowed or what we borrowed from you early. And then we go out and borrow money from other people to pay for that. So why this will work for us, interest rates are better now than they were in 2012. Not that they were very bad in 2012, so we've got a pretty good interest rate schedule right now, so. But this will save us 6 figures of taxpayer money over the next decade.
Sounds good.
What's the bond?
Probably 30 when it started,
Yeah.
So
and I think we got,
did we refinanced it though, right?
yeah, you've already refinanced it once. So this will be the second, and I think final time that we will do that.
So
But how much is the bond really for?
The
The remainder?
the remainder, I want to say we're like 4.5 million left. Pull the schedule if you want me to.
No.
thank you.
No, that's fine.
we're good. That's good.
I'm just curious.
Close
That's
enough.
awesome.
We're
Way to
paying,
go.
we're paying about 500,000 a year is kind of where we're at. So,
I do not have. that.
and
Oh,
we should be able to trim a good chunk of interest
I
off
think
every
so.
one of those payments that's left, so. And of course, I'll take this opportunity again to mention that we have a very significant chunk of our debt service. Doesn't have to be paid by our local taxpayers because we have the ag tax credit
And we're 80% ag land out there, so. If we were to go build a new school, be crazy, we wouldn't have to pay for all that much of it. So, very favorable legislation for a district like ours. So, that continues to affect us favorably in the actual amount that our taxpayers pay. Ironically, you still have to show that you're levying for it. So, but then we ultimately don't collect it from the taxpayers, we collect it from the state.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Thank you, Krista. Is there a second?
Do we need a motion,
Chad?
or do we just need
No.
to read it and sign it?
The first page isn't that terrible.
I don't have,
We don't.
We don't have a
Oh,
copy.
gosh.
of the files on it.
Should have the packet.
We don't have the packet, we have the agenda.
right,
We have
Yes.
seen it.
Oh, so who's that copy?
Do you want to read? Yeah.
I'm happy to read it,
There's like 6 more pages.
because you're gonna have
after
to
it,
sign
too.
it, so that makes sense to just slide on over.
There you go.
That's gonna be-
Alrighty. Alrighty. Pursuant to due call and notice thereof, a regular meeting of the school board of Independent School District number 497, Lisle Public Schools, Lara County and Freeborn Counties, Minnesota, was duly held in the district on Wednesday, May 19th, 2021, excuse me, commencing at 6 p.m. in person or by electronic means pursuant to Minnesota statute 13D.021. The following members were present, all of us, all related, and no one was absent. The board chair announced that the next business order was consideration of the sale of district's general obligation school building refunding bonds, series 2021A. Member Pell introduced the following resolution and it moved its adoption. Do I need to really read all 6 pages?
Oh my God, no.
no. No.
I'm good.
It was actually in your board packet.
Yes,
I read it thoroughly.
But,
I bet you did.
I just didn't print it out.
I did.
so, let's go to,
One high point, the minimum amount of savings is
I did send to
$92,000.
my phone.
So minimum.
thanks.
So if it's not better than that, then we'll just reject all the bids.
I don't know how that works.
Oh.
I'll read this last page, and then it finishes up.
Probably actually for your kids.
So I made the motion. We haven't had a second yet. The motion for the adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly seconded by member
It was
Chad.
Chad.
Hurd, and upon vote being taken thereon, the following voted in favor thereof. Does this have to be a roll vote? All right.
Okay, Carl,
I,
Chad?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Whereupon said resolution was declared duly passed and adopted. And I think that's enough.
All right, thank you. Item E, consider approval of the first reading of District Policy 511, student fundraising.
Nothing glamorous with this one. It's just clarifying our student activity fundraising part. So the one we had was very old, about 2000. So
Any questions on that from anyone? If not, is there a motion to approve the first reading of Policy
I'll make the
511?
motion.
Carl, is there a second? Dave, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? Item F, consider approval of the first reading, District Policy 713, student activity accounting.
repeat of what I just said earlier. Pretty much the same thing.
Although this one is very recently revised by MSBA
Yeah.
for changes in state law, a lot of them.
I'll make a motion.
Krista, is there a second? Chad, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? School board member comments. Anyone? Corey, I'd just like to say thank you for all your work with testing. I know that was a
Hopefully it goes
lot of
better next
work
year.
and,
Thank you.
but very appreciated. So, thank you.
Again, as this is the last before the end of school.
Yeah.
I kind of want to echo the sentiments that you had said earlier, that everyone in the building has just gone so above and beyond for our students, and it's just,
We made
it's
it.
noticed.
It's crazy that we're at this point, right? Like, just,
Right? I just want to say that we really appreciate everything that everyone's done.
absolutely. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
So,
It's been something,
Yep.
hasn't it?
And
Could have went worse.
We weathered the storm,
You bet. It could have. Yep.
Could have went worse.
and some things were actually really great. I
Yes.
mean, some you just muddled through, but there were some things that.
Yep.
A lot of great.
Yeah.
We're
Yep.
looking at the day-to-day greatness, not
Yep.
the big, great, huge things, but just the day-to-day greatness. There's some really great things.
We've
Yeah.
oftentimes tried to find that silver lining, and I think today's events was one of those where, you know, it prom wasn't what it was supposed to be, and so we came up with another idea, and
Mhm.
the students and staff just ran with it. The smiles on their faces were, I think the staff enjoyed it just as much as the students today.
We did have a staff member wearing a tux.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. He looked spectacular.
He
That's-
did.
Pictures of him teaching in the tux.
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, you guys. Thank you. All right. If there's no other comments, is there a motion to
I
adjourn?
make the motion. to
Carl,
adjourn.
so surprising. Is there a second?
I'll take it.
Dave, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
I oppose.
Motion passes, adjourn at 7:03.
I oppose.
Have a good night, everyone.